Hi everyone, welcome in the underworld. We're gonna have a new moon in Scorpio that is gonna happen on November the 20th. And this new moon is not gonna let you bypass anything. It's gonna take us within the depths of our souls, within the hidden places of our own psyche. It's going to bring up a lot of memories that we thought we've buried. So, yes, Scorpio is the most intense zodiac sign of our entire astrological wheel. The fact that it's conjunct Mercury retrograde is going to stir up a lot of old conversations from the past and can really highlight a lot of surprises with the opposition to Uranus that it's going to make. So it's going to show us what's been hidden. It's going to show us what we've been avoiding and also what our soul feels finally strong enough for to finally face. So with Mercury retrograde really dissolving the boundaries between the past and the present moment, and also Black Moon Lilith is conjunct this new moon. It's going to stir a lot of raw truth from beneath, and also it's like not about superficial truth. It is about like this lunation is really gonna be an psychic x-ray kind of vision to it. So it's gonna expose a pattern. It can expose some old wounds. It's also about our desire in the sign of Scorpio, and it's also about power. And if we have handled that well, if we've been abusing our power, we can definitely have some kind of reckoning going on right now. But with the beautiful water trine, it's actually, Scorpio, it is about fear, but with the beautiful water trine evolved in this new moon, it's about fearlessness and about being brave enough to face our shadow. So Scorpio, it doesn't destroy what is true. It is actually a destroyer of the false narrative. So what is going to return after this new moon is, this is like a big purge, and we're gonna return feeling stronger, more empowered. This is also a big cleansing, very healing type of energy, and it's gonna force us to become more unshakable. Especially it's gonna be in an assignment with the opposition to Uranus, but definitely a very interesting new moon, if you ask me. Like, I think this is the most special new moon of the entire year of 2025. So take a deep breath, and we're gonna really dive into what this means for the collective, but also for your rising sign. So I'm gonna walk you through each of the 12 signs later in this video, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Astrid, so thank you all so much for joining me today. This is a pre-recorded video, but I will be talking in the chat to all of you guys. So let's dive into this new moon. So Scorpio is the sign of the alchemist. It's really like the part of Scorpio that is going to turn pain into power. It's like an inner magician, and the inner magician really understands that the destruction and creation are actually the same process. It also knows that every loss and betrayal or some kind of ending holds the pure power of transformation. So we all need to integrate our trauma. Like this new moon, you guys, is really gonna trigger a lot of traumas from the past, but it's going to do that in order for us to really all of that, refine that into some kind of wisdom and really integrate our shadow and look at the depths of our own psyche and look at the hidden motives that are lingering beneath, like lingering in the shadows. So yeah, Scorpio, it's like, it's a lot to deal with, I'm not gonna lie, but the alchemist really knows how to take all the poison and transmute that into some kind of medicine. Of course, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and that is the planet of death and rebirth. So we can only control which we have mastered, and we really need to master our own emotional energy during this time. Another keyword for Scorpio is, of course, the sorceress. Scorpio is very intuitive and magnetic and very mysterious, and it can like seduce pretty well. And it also understands that true power, it doesn't need to be forced. You can like summon that in times of need. And It's very psychic, very sensual, and Scorpio is of course connected to like the unseen realms, people who have passed away, and being able to communicate with them. That is going to be a strong that is going to be a key theme of this new moon as well. So if you feel like you're intuitively picking up signs or like synchronicities or messages from the ancestors, that is going to be very, very strengthened during this new moon. And the sorceress here, she works with the unseen forces, not to manipulate, but to actually co-create together with the divine. Very confident and magic, and because like all of Scorpios, they already walked through the fire and they've like rise from the ashes as a phoenix. So another key theme is also the shadow worker, because that is like the whole heart of the Scorpio medicine. It's the part that goes where others won't or are a little bit afraid to go. The shadow worker is really able to enter like dark corners of the psyche, and we need to be facing our shame, our fears, our obsession, our control. It's also about jealousy, and we do not glorify them, but we need to understand them to be able to integrate that. So Scorpio also knows that everything that we repress deep inside actually controls us. But this is now the seed that is getting planted to be able to face and transform that. So Scorpio, it's also a very good time to consult a therapist, some kind of mystic, psychotherapy, trauma release exercises, soul retrieval energy, energy healing work, all of that are all connected to Scorpio. So Scorpio doesn't fear the darkness because they are the light that actually knows how to walk through it. So yeah, very, very intense, mysterious energy. If you then look at the chart for today, pretty interesting. And before I'm going to dive deep into the chart, I want to tell you guys something pretty important, because the moon right now, the new moon in Scorpio, is actually the furthest away since the moon that we had in March of 2020. And we all know what happened then. Not saying that we're gonna have new lockdowns and all that type of craziness, because we had a whole other setup of planets back then, but still, I wouldn't be surprised if like the government is gonna try to install some fear upon us or within the collective with like shocking breaking news and all of kinds of like pretty scary headlines. Do not let that throw you off center. Because the next time that we're going to have a new moon that is going to be so far away from Earth, that will be in 2043. So that is still like a long time until we see this kind of energy again. So Scorpio, of course, is also about cover-ups, about trying to destroy evidence. And it's a sign that's actually known to be able to, stoke a lot of fear. And we need to be a little bit mindful about that. The biggest predictions for this new moon are, of course, like major financial revelations, because Scorpio is, of course, a sign that falls in the financial axis of the astrology wheel. It can be about like hidden depths that can like rise from under the surface. It can also be about like the shadow side of banking that is going to be illuminated. We can see some scandals in regards to misused funds, and also like these offshore money trails that are being exposed in a very big public way that can be a little bit surprising with the opposition to Uranus for a lot of people. Uranus is back into the sign of Taurus, so that's also at the other side, the opposite side of like the astrological wheel, also in a major financial sign. So we're going to see some market volatility as well, and currencies and cryptos, and food prices. We can see like a lot of sudden fluctuations happening in that. And I'm not a financial advisor, but just like keep something or invest in something that keeps their value. That is like my biggest tip that I can give you. With the opposition to Uranus, we can also see some mass data leaks, cybersecurity breaches. We can also see with the conjunction to Mercury retrograde, a lot of whistleblowers and big revelations in the media happening, a lot of political scandals, declassified documents that are gonna like emerge, that are gonna be quite surprising to the public, and a lot of just in general suppressed stories that are gonna come to light for sure. We're also going to see a little bit trouble with electricity, or like the power grid that can be a little bit unstable as well. Maybe some risks of outages or like blackouts. That is definitely in the cards here. But on a positive note, we're gonna have a lot of breakthroughs and like trauma release, and like also mental health, and actually also psychedelic therapy. I think that's going to come up quite strongly as well. We can see like new regulations or like new scientific breakthroughs or discoveries with opposition to Uranus. And we're going to see like a collective emotional release that can be quite big and intense actually, but it's also about ancestral healing. So it's like I have a lot to unpack here today. The most implicated signs are, of course, Scorpio is happening in your sign. Then we have Taurus and Taurus rising because it's in your opposite sign. And we also have Leo and Aquarius because you're also part of the fixed signs. So if you're one of these signs and you have something in the last decan, and by that I mean like between 20 or 29 degrees of Scorpio or any of the fixed signs, you might feel this quite strongly. So do not let the emotional intensity overwhelm you. Just breathe, take a step back, and just know that this is all divinely timed. So let's look at the chart. The moon is happening at 28 degrees, exactly conjunct Mercury retrograde, also at 28 degrees, which is kind of rare and pretty special if you ask me. Because it's at 28 degrees, the moon is going to activate ancestral memory even more. It's about homeland, can also be about family protection, children's safety, but in particular about women. Females who hold great power, they can really be in the spotlight during this one. And because it's a new moon and the sun is there as well, it can be women in a very prominent leadership position that can actually expose a lot of truth. And I've included some females chart that we're going to look at a little bit later. So as you guys already know, I've been talking about this quite some time, but since the Libra new moon on October the 21st, we're having a 6-month series of 28 degrees new moons. So the universe keeps like hitting the same energetic note to really like train us or like be able to integrate this new frequency of 28 degrees, and that is a Cancer degree. So all the Cancerian themes about like motherhood and females and emotional safety, family, your lineage, your roots, all of these things are going to be massively coming up during this time. The last new moon on 28 degrees is actually a solar eclipse in Aquarius that we're going to see on February the 17th of 2026. So that will be like the ending of having new moons at 28 degrees. So that is actually pretty important, the fact that it ends on an annular solar eclipse. So the fact that the 28 degrees is connected to the sign of Scorpio, so Cancer and Scorpio, they come together here. We're gonna see news surfacing about past abuse cases, hidden files in regards to that. We can see people trying to cover up a lot of things, trafficking networks, really scandals that are going to involve women, and that's going to be connected to high profile figures in society and also possibly children. So last year we had a new moon in Libra that was conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Then everything came up in regards to the P. Diddy scandal. Now it's happening in the sign of Scorpio, so a way more intense sign than Libra. Libra was, of course, about big court cases and the legal system and justice. but now it's really in a way darker sign than the new moon conjunct black moon Lilith that we had last year. So yes, of course, I'm talking about the Epstein files. They are doing like a big vote on that this week. We're gonna see possible new evidence or testimonies or documents coming up in regards to that. I do not think they're gonna release the whole. I do not think they're gonna release all the files. There are too many high profile figures who try to cover that up. But yeah, Scorpio is gonna expose the darkness either way. Not to shock, but Uranus is definitely bringing a shocking quality to this, but it's gonna expose the darkness to really purify and transform what's been happening behind the scenes, for sure. So yeah, very big collective reckoning with like the shadow of how society protects or actually fails to protect its females and also its children. So but the purpose here really is about awareness. Uranus brings this shocking, and then like Uranus brings awareness and insights and a lot of change accompanied by that. So this moon is not asking us to look away. It is asking us to finally look and like really look at it and look within what it does with you whenever something is triggered as well. So we must actually protect the innocent, and to do that we must confront the truth. And Mercury retrograde says like no more secrets. This is like a timeline shift within the collective mind. And we're going to see a very, very big flip in some kind of global narrative that's been like the story that we believed versus like the truth that is going to emerge. It's going to backlash, and people are going to definitely be changing their opinions overnight due to like new information that is going to be released. And this is like a collective moment of like, we were misled and now we can see the truth kind of moment. So Mercury Cazimi conjunct this new moon, it is like having a seat at like the royal table of truth. With the opposition to Uranus, it's going to bring so much exposure in what was actually deliberately concealed. So we're going to see a lot of leaked information, sudden clarity about people's motives and also about our own subconscious patterns, and a very, very big cathartic purge and all of the mental toxins and lies and shame and like being silenced. These are all connected to Black Moon Lilith as well. But yeah, with the Mercury Cazimi, it's like a mind purification chamber in the sign of Scorpio. So this is really a big revealing point. Previously suppressed evidence is going to return, and it needs to be acknowledged. So can also be in regards to like the medical field. Scorpio rules like taboo subjects, but also shared resources, real people in power, and also certain systems in the body, especially to like reproduce and things that are connected to that happened within the medical field a few years ago. Scorpio rules also taxes and money and the powerful, like the 1%. So yeah, scandals that involve big pharma, some kind of medical funding, some kind of treatment, and also how that's connected to insurance. So yeah, it's like this is going to be an intense one, but it's here to empower us. So Mercury really has like this energy of I want the receipts, I want the data, I want the facts. And it's like all the stuff that gets recorded on paper. And when it opposes Uranus, that is actually when the universe like pulls out all these files out of the drawer, and like the ones that we thought that were deleted or sealed or handled. We're gonna see so much leaks, and think about government records, hidden money trails, all the things that like Scorpio guards in the dark. And if something was covered up, then this is the exact moment where the cracks are going to start to appear. And it's not only on a collective level, it's also in your personal lives that this energy is really going to like, erupt a little bit with Uranus in the mix. We're going to see some court files that can be quite surprising. This is really a kind of moment that the truth cannot stay hidden. It is like a mask off kind of energy. And all the secrets, all the confessions, all the revelations, and all the uncomfortable but necessary truths are going to come up in conversations that you didn't even plan to have. So do not let that throw you off balance. It's actually the universe that is trying to restore balance by like exposing the truth here. So, and of course, because Scorpio is about like ancestral messages, and it's also like we are wrapping up Scorpio season. So the veil has been thinning the past month, so it's also very positive for like psychicness and developing your intuition and having like visits in your dreams, and yeah, really the ancestors or the ones who deceived or passed away really coming up to you quite strongly and showing you the next stage or like the next leap on your journey and where you need to go. Of course, there's a beautiful sextile to its ruler Pluto, which is positive, but I do not want to overplay the sextiles. The other ancient ruler or like traditional ruler, Mars, is in Sagittarius, and it's squaring the nodes. So this one really asks for like bold but conscious action. And Pluto here says like evolve your mindset around power and intimacy and resources, but also Mars warns a little bit against impulsive decisions that are actually rooted in fear. If we're going to make decisions rooted in fear, we can end up in some conflict for sure. But then we also see conjunction to Black Moon Lilith, and a lot of people are actually portraying her a little bit better than she actually is. Black Moon Lilith is quite dark. The fact that she's in Scorpio on this new moon makes it even more mind-blowing to me. Black Moon Lilith, she steals your baby at night. It's like about repressed anger, and this is like really unleashing that suppression with the moon and Mercury activating that as well. So things could definitely be a little bit intense, and ugly truths could really like mess with your fears. But we're gonna see some ugly truths in order to strengthen our own power, to show us where we have given our power away. It will definitely leave people feeling a little bit uncomfortable for sure. But I want to add something positive as well, because there's always very positive energy as well. And here we have a beautiful grand water trine. So all the water bodies are like agreeing, like in the sky, like let's give them like a flood of emotions, and water is extremely powerful right now. If you do any divination with water or talk to your water before you drink it, infuse that with like positive messages, you can like really tap into the beautiful magical energy of the grand water trine, which is actually quite rare. But definitely, because there's a grand water trine, and there can definitely be like rewards for work well done. I feel like a lot of people the past year, they felt like a little bit alone, a little bit abandoned, feeling like you had to like fend for yourself more than you're used to. And I saw a lot of people give up. And that is not to judge, but a lot of people really immerse themselves in their darker side because things got pretty tough. Like 2025, it is a year of 9. It is a year of closure, and a lot of things came to a halt or some kind of an end. And I feel like a lot of people were feeling a little bit left in the dark. And the ones who were able to stand in their power, to continue when everything felt lost, I feel these people are getting such a big reward now from this grandfather trine. So, but definitely, if you have been abusing your power in the wrong way, of course, there can a lot of emotional spikes coming up and a lot of like unpredictable reactions from other people who are like gonna confront you with your abuse of power. That can definitely happen, and that is ultimately gonna like lead to a big confrontation with like the uncomfortable reality that we're living in right now. I know in the States things are pretty chaotic, and other countries as well. We can all feel like we're on the urge of something very, very big shifting, and it is definitely going to happen in the spring for the Northern Hemisphere of 2026. And yeah, do not let them install any fear around 3i Atlas. I think we're all kind of prepared in the truther community about like a fake alien invasion, and 3i Atlas is like closing in on Earth. We're going to see that on the 19th of December. I'm going to do a whole video about that as well. But just know that the government might really try to push, like there can be an intentional push of like fear-based messages from authorities, from institutions, from like all the media outlets. So be a little bit prepared for that as well. Stay really grounded, really think for yourself. With the Mercury retrograde and Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, we do not know the full story just yet. And also like, don't hand your emotional stability over to like all these external voices. It's just really a time to go within. A lot of planets are currently retrograde, so it's really time to like unwind, to really reflect upon the past few months. Scorpio is also a very big sign about reflection of your own hidden side, your own hidden motives, your darker shadow side, and really trying to integrate that. And that is not always easy. If we look at the opposition with Uranus, that is definitely like a major implication of this new moon. We've been having this lesson of Uranus and Taurus since 2018, and we're now like not fully done with this lesson just yet, but it's like finally wrapping up. The same with Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So a lot of planets are actually like ending a very big cycle. So Uranus and Taurus, of course, is more about our money, our food, our land, the resources, and it's going to create a lot of volatility in that. It's going to bring a lot of shock waves and a lot of awakenings and a lot of disruptions, and also like these unexpected events that really force change. Definitely some surprises in food security, nature, climate, banking, crypto, the economy. And I'm not a financial advisor, but still Uranus until the end of April of 2026 is going to create some volatile energy in the sign of Taurus. So it's not meant to destroy, but more to liberate. But Taurus can get a little bit stuck and resistant because it's really attached to its comfort and the familiar routine. But Uranus comes in to really like unattaches from that. So just like be ready to have some surprises in regards to all of that. And because Mars in Sag is also like squaring the nodes, that really shows us that there's like a karmic correction going on. Definitely also with Mercury retrograde from Sag to Scorpio. Big correction around our belief system, around our ideology, and also about propaganda that has been like firing at us the past few years, especially since 2020. And with the South Node and Virgo, we really need to release control and perfectionism and a lot of criticism. We need to move towards the North Node, which is in Pisces, which is about faith and surrender and having compassion. So yeah, very big pivot point here for like our collective philosophy and like the moral frameworks of the collective that we live in. If we then check at the SABIAN symbol, which is also a pretty intense one, if you ask me, it's an Indian woman pleading to her chief for the lives of her children, and like so particularly important with the moon being at the 28th Cancer degree, which is also about family and motherhood and the womb. So yeah, it's like the Indian woman, it is about like the human instinct to really protect what is vulnerable, what is sacred, what is irreplaceable, even in the face of like authority and power, which is of course Scorpio. So like the pleading, it is not weakness, it is actually raw courage that is born from a lot of unconditional love. It's the courage that really emerges when something deeply precious is at risk. So yeah, it's really pointing out the psyche's deepest needs to like protect its instincts, especially those who are rooted in divine feminine and childhood and ancestry. It's really about these primal emotional bonds. So here, because it happens in the sign of Scorpio, it really reflects upon like speaking the truth even when it feels a bit risky. It's also about like with Black Moon Lilith in the mix, breaking the silence to protect what truly matters. And yeah, it's about also confronting these power structures that have actually been failing their duty towards the collective. So yeah, also the psyche's right to like reclaim, to defend itself. So your voice matters and your truth matters, and the instinct to protect what is vulnerable to you is actually very sacred and holy, and it can run really, really deep. So look at what and who you're protecting, and does that come out of fear or out of love? That might be a very, very big wake up call and a very big awakening during this new moon and next few weeks that are gonna follow. So yeah, it's really about your soul level responsibilities, and truth that is spoken from love and not out of fear can really alter the course of our destiny. So really something to ponder upon. And I'm going to look a little bit at important charts. And I know a lot of you guys are here for your rising sign, but if you want more world astrology, drop it in the comments below. Then maybe next moon I will go a little bit deeper into that. But here we see the chart of Erica Kirk. She is a 29 degrees Scorpio with her Mercury at 23 degrees. So yeah, this new moon with Mercury retrograde and Black Moon Lilith is going to be exactly conjunct her Sun and Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. So definitely some past conversations, past evidence, past emails, files in regards to what she shared or said, or some kind of truth in regards to the shooting of Charlie Kirk is definitely going to come up here with this new moon. And I think Erica can really share some deep truths that can be quite surprising to the public. But she's definitely very, very massively implicated by this new moon. So it would be really, really interesting to keep an eye on her and what she's about to message, or like the message that she's going to send out to the world. Then another important female is, of course, Candace Owens. So the reason I'm highlighting these females is because it's at the 28 degrees, which is the Cancer degree, which is about females. So yeah, Candace Owens, we know she's been exposing a lot of truth. And she has her Mercury at 29 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is now on that, creating massive shocks and revelations. The new moon is actually exactly opposing her Mercury. So yeah, we all know Candace Owens has a kill switch. Whenever something happens to her, she's gonna send out a lot of files and documents to journalists. So yeah, I'm just like hoping and praying that this is not gonna happen. But this is definitely an astrological potential for that to happen. So sending prayers to keep Candace safe for sure. If we then look at the chart for Canada, we can see that the new moon is happening in the 8th house of taxes and finance and big sums of money behind the scenes, or like money in regards to the powerful people of that nation, and it's making 150 degrees, which is a quincunx to the moon of Canada, the natal moon of Canada, which represents its people. So if you live in Canada, you're definitely gonna receive some news in regards to taxes or finances, or like your currency that can drop massively, and then people are gonna be yeah, a little bit shocked by that. I know you guys see it coming. It's been like devaluating for some time, but here there's like another massive implication, and it's also gonna bring up a lot of financial documents from the past that can illuminate what's happening now in your country. If we then look at some other charts, this one is one for the EU. So the EU has a big stellium in the 4th house, which is about the homeland and then the countries that are part of the EU. It has a very big stellium in the sign of Scorpio, which is going to be very massively affected, and is going to be opposing the moon, the natal moon of the EU chart. So definitely some surprises for the people who live in the EU as well. Definitely also some surprises from female leadership. A female who is in a leadership position can also be quite causing a lot of volatile and unstable energy in her control issues, and that is going to be highlighted as well. Definitely with Uranus back into the sign of Taurus. I know the moon is 24 degrees and Uranus is only 29 degrees, but still 29 is a critical degree. And the Scorpio stellium is massively implicated for the EU with this new moon. If we then look at the chart of China, the new moon is happening exactly at the MC. So something very massively, something big can really happen. Past files that are going to illuminate something, or that are going to be made quite public. And yeah, definitely China is in the mix for something massively to like announce to the world. Definitely also with Uranus back on the EC. The EC is about borders. It's about like really having a shakeup in that as well. The MC is something that is very publicly known. So yeah, not looking pretty well. If you don't look at the US has its natal moon at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So this new moon is happening in the 12th house, which is power behind the scenes, deception, lies, and it's squaring the natal moon exact. So Uranus has been squaring the moon as well. So there's like a very big T-square that is like creating a lot of chaos and unpredictable behavior and uprisings and protests because the people of the US, they are fed up with it. This is really about fighting over power. And the 12th house is the things we do not know. It's the things that are happening behind our back. Mercury retrograde is gonna really stir a lot of misery in that area. The 12th house is about loss, about failure, about like also the mental health state of the people of that country. And Black Moon Lilith doesn't want to get silenced anymore. So the fact that Black Moon Lilith and Mercury retro and this new moon is squaring its natal moon is going to create a lot of havoc for the US for sure. So Uranus square the moon is always, we've seen it the last few years, massive protests, massive people who are fed up with how things are actually operating within their nation. So if we then look at Trump, a little bit difficult for Trump, not gonna lie. The new moon is actually happening within the 4th house. So that is actually what's happening behind closed doors at home. It's squaring his natal Mars and his rising sign to the exact degree. So not good for his stress levels, not good for his health, not good for his power behind the scenes. And it is like massively tested. And that is also what's coming up now with the whole voting around the Epstein files. So definitely very difficult for him to handle right now. If we don't look at Joe Biden actually has his natal Sun and Venus at in the last decan of Scorpio. It's in the 12th house, the house of loss, the house of sickness, the house of even like final endings. It's gonna square his Chiron and North nodes exact. So definitely something might come up in regards of his cancer treatment. I know he has prostate cancer. The fact that it squares Chiron is about like a wound that is very difficult to heal. Chiron is about literal wounding. The 12th house is the house of the hospital, so I won't be surprised if something major is gonna be shared about Joe Biden. I do not wish him to pass away or anything like that, but definitely not good for his health for sure. If we don't look at some kind of country in the Middle East, and I cannot say its name here anymore, otherwise my videos are getting repressed, but you can see like the whole stellium and Scorpio is actually squaring the natal Mars of that country exact. So Mars is about conflict and aggression and bombs, guns, knives. So I'm not going to go deeper into that, but that is like not looking well. And with all of that being said, and like, let me know if you want me to go like way deeper into the world astrology. This is like just like a snippet of everything that I can mention about the charts, but I need to like keep an eye on the time of the video, but definitely I can maybe like do a separate video about like the world astrology as well, if you guys would like that. So if you don't look at the rituals to be able to channel all of this intensity, it would be wise to maybe do some kind of shadow release ritual. You can write down all of your fears, all of your old resentments, your old attachments, and write everything down that you're done carrying, and then you can save it. You can burn it safely. Mercury retrograde. You can also like then take the ashes of what you've burned and then like dissolve that into water, because it's at a Cancer degree. And with the grand water trine, water magic is very, very potent during this time. And if you then like first burn it, then put the ashes in water, and you can then like water your plants with that water. So it's like about releasing this psychic residue and have like an emotional rebirth in that. You can also, especially very potent right now, is like burn some candles. You can burn a black candle and a white candle, and you can do that to like balance out the Scorpio extremes. And if you want to turn it up a notch and include Mercury retrograde in the ritual, you can even place like a water bowl between the black and the white candle. And you can talk to the water, and you can like really ask it to show me what I need to know, like show me the truth, but like only do that if you're like really ready to know, because like this really works. And like you can look at like Dr. Emoto and what he's doing with water, and how water has its very special frequency, and like all the water cells are like connected over the entire globe or earth. So yeah, that is very important for like emotional cleansing and to receive messages and clarity and like revelations that can like really stimulate that. Another thing is, of course, because Scorpio is a water sign, you can like take a bath to detoxify all the intense emotions. You can put some black crystals around your bed. Think about black tourmaline and smoky quartz, and also black obsidian. All of these darker symbols and crystals who can like really purify the negative energy. And you can also contact a psychic medium to do some soul retrieval work or ritual, because when we are in fear, it's like parts of our soul get dispersed or like go away, because it's like not safe to integrate within the body anymore. So that is something that you can work on yourself, like look at what's missing, look at what you want to add. Do you want to add more joy and more happiness? That is something that you can really work on as well. Like, do not let fear override your joy. Then also, of course, Scorpio is about sexuality as well, like deep soul level merging and bonding. So you can also do like some kind of sacred sexuality ritual, solo or partners, it doesn't matter. Scorpio is about tantra as well, so it's really to reconnect with the body and healing all the shame and like stop repressing your sensuality, and really like merge your pleasure with a lot of pure intentions to like restore and heal the tantra energy inside of the body. And of course, Scorpio is very psychic, so very good time to pull some tarot cards, or any types of divination can be very, very helpful. If we then look at the crystals for Scorpio are, of course, topaz, because that's the birthstone of Scorpio. It's about inner strength and emotional clarity, and it's also about like the courage to fully embrace your authentic personal power. Then we have obsidian, that is very potent in absorbing shadow energy. It's also about revealing hidden truths and also about grounding. So and then on top of that, we have black tourmaline, and that really builds a protective shield around your aura. It is really, really good for guarding yourself off of like bad vibes, and really for like repelling negativity, and also on top of that, stabilizing your energy during like intense changes. So that is what I have for you guys today, and we're gonna start the 12 rising signs. So it's always most important to first listen to your rising sign, then listen for your sun sign. And if you have a moon in Scorpio, you can definitely also listen for your moon sign. So we're going to start with Aries, sun, moon, or rising. You're going to have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio, and that's going to happen in your 8th house. So yeah, pretty intense. The 8th deals with shared resources, power dynamics, entanglements, psychologically, sexually, but also energetically. So yeah, this is about like big revelation of secrets, hidden truths. Conjunct Mercury retrograde and Black Moon Lilith. Don't be surprised if like truth surfaces that is gonna really totally change the way you see a person, that you see yourself, that you look at a commitment or a financial tie. Like all of these can like really shift within the blink of an eye with the truth that can be emerging. So it's like the energy is going to make you like suddenly know something instinctively. It's also going to expose something that's been in the shadows for way too long. Very big moment of purging. Think about like purging financial debts, emotional baggage, old attachments. They're all ready to be released. So this is actually very helpful in healing and dropping a psychological burden that you didn't even realize you were still carrying. So examine why you trust certain people. Like examine how you trust them the way you do. Where do you overgive? Where do you over invest your energy? Where are there certain situations that don't fully give back the same energy? The 8 is about our deepest emotional patterns. So look at yourself. Did you like take on the role of a rescuer or a protector, or are you like over functioning in relationships just to like keep the peace? Maybe you're gonna realize that you're really carrying someone else's emotional overload, or maybe you're carrying too much of your financial responsibility. Maybe you're like constantly trying to heal people without them asking, and it is like depleting you a little bit. So really look at that. If you feel like your body goes, I can do this anymore, then the shadow work here is really going to be a very big liberation. It's really about like self-sacrifice that drains your vitality, and restructuring something with that. It's definitely with Mercury retrograde back into the eighth house as well. So yeah, take your power back, focus on what you can control. Also know that you cannot fix someone else's bad habits or emotional wounds. Clean up your site, clean up your part or your role in that. And also, yeah, make maybe new commitments, plant new seeds in regards to your shared finances, your energy flow, your boundaries, and especially your psychic boundaries in regards to other people. Yeah, the deeply psychic new moon for you, my dear Aries. Listen to those intuitive flashes and the messages that you're going to receive from your ancestors. And dreams can be very revealing. You can even reveal someone's motives, and especially also your own motives. So yeah, full honesty is going to be very, very essential. Anything that has been building upon secrets and half truths and avoidance is not going to survive this energy. So yeah, set stronger boundaries. This is a big powerful emotional purge that you're gonna make, but it's actually gonna help you to guide you to fully step into your own power. So and if you are getting drained by an obligation or some kind of relationship, can also be a sexual relationship, then you really need to release it during this time. It's going to really set you free with the opposition to Uranus. So let me know how that's going for you guys. Good luck. We have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a new moon in Scorpio in your opposite sign. So that's happening in your 7th house of relationships. So one-on-one connections, romantic, business, close friends, anyone that you're actually deeply tied to, especially with Scorpio on your 7th house cusp. And it's conjunct Mercury retro and also Black Moon Lilith. So yeah, some kind of truth can really be emerging in some kind of relationship, and also like hidden dynamics are going to be like up and front in your face, like everything that is like, yeah, you're going to suddenly realize that like some kind of pattern within your relationships that you've been like running on autopilot is so outdated and imbalanced, and it's actually no longer aligned with who you've become after Uranus all these years into the sign of Taurus. That has been transforming your identity, and it's now like the final big push in that. So yeah, release or renegotiate a contract or something in regards to legal dealings can also be part of the picture here for you. The 7th house rules justice and contracts as well. But just know that something big is being purified and being reset, so that you can actually relate from this new kind of level person that you are right now, and not the person that you've used to be. So yeah, where have you been over-giving, over-functioning, or like over-accommodating in relationships? Does some kind of relationship holds too much power? Really confront the truth about your role and the dynamics as well. Maybe you're holding back because you're afraid of merging fully with a partner. Maybe your expectations are too much for other people, or other people's expectations are taking a toll on you. Scorpio is very extreme. It's very black and white. So do you maybe downplay your own needs? Do you maybe avoid honesty out of fear of like conflict or rejection? Really dive into that. You might see a side of someone, can be a habit or a motive or a pattern that wasn't fully visible before, and that can actually really shake you up a little bit. So it's not just like about these other people. It's about your own understanding of your own nature of desire, and why you are attracted to certain types or certain circumstances that other people tend to trigger all the time. So or like a lot when you enter a relationship. So your attraction to the intensity of other people, and also the subtle ways that Yeah, power exchanges are happening in relationships. That is going to be very, very obvious to you why that happens. So work around your attachment issues, if you have control issues, or if you attract people who have some kind of control issues. And it's also about like the fear of wanting to control everything, because there's some kind of fear of losing the connection. So yeah, these insights can be a little bit more confronting and a little bit uncomfortable, but it's going to give you the much needed clarity to create like relationships that actually nourish you. So stop trying to fix and to save or to like stabilize other people. You really cannot control someone else's choices. You cannot control their emotional habits, and you also cannot control their willingness to grow or to merge with you. So yeah, that will become very, very clear. However, what you can control is actually your own boundaries, and you can elevate your own standards, and also how you show up when it truly matters for other people. So yeah, pull back like your energy from all the connections that drain you, and really address something in an honest way instead of like trying to tiptoe around it. The right relationships are going to deepen with transparency, and those who are not are going to be dissolved. So do not ignore the red flags. Do not like minimize their toxic behavior. This is really like a wake-up call and a very big rebirth in relationship area of your chart. But that all can only start and fully blossom when you have self-respect and honesty, and if you have like reciprocity in those teams. So yeah, there might be, yeah, you're gonna see someone's real motives, emotionally or financially. So prepare yourself a little bit for that. Do your shadow work around codependency and your avoidant attachment issues, or like clingy attachment issues, depending on which side of the spectrum you fall. And yeah, can have a very important conversation with someone from the past that can really change the direction of your relationship house. So let me know how that's going for you, my dear Taurus. I wish you good luck. We have Gemini Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have a new moon. I was gonna say full, no, a new moon in the sign of Gemini. Oh my god, my dear Geminis, this Mercury retrograde is like really doing me a head in, and like Mercury is your chart ruler, so let me know how that's going. And yes, this is a pre-recorded video, but I'm gonna let the bloopers in because I think they are quite funny sometimes. So all right, Gemini, let's do that again. You're gonna have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio, and that is gonna happen in your 6th house. Okay, wow. So for you guys, the 6th is about routines and work and health, and also your daily responsibilities. So yeah, this is like an area of life that a lot of people fully ignore until it like starts screaming for attention. And this might be the time for you. So anything that's like dysfunctional in your daily routine, they're gonna become like impossible to overlook. So yeah, really a time of like purging all of the unhealthy daily habits. Clear your chaotic schedules, fix anything in regards to your workflow, anything that has become stagnant or inefficient or draining in regards to your daily routine needs to be fixed and needs to be looked at right now. Because it's conjunct Mercury retro, there can be something important that you've previously missed that can resurface. That can be in regards to an appointment, an email, paperwork, some kind of task, and something in regards to your health, or a very big work-related issue that you didn't see coming, something in regards to the past that needs to be worked out right now. And all the annoyances in your daily routine are now going to get way louder, and that is happening with a purpose. They're really trying to show you what needs to be reorganized during this Mercury retro. So rebuild your daily life and install or like infuse it with some more occult or depth or like mysticism in your daily routine that can be helpful. It's also going to highlight your relationship to productivity, and if you feel useful enough, and if too much stress is having a bad effect on your health. And it's also a little bit about self-discipline, and some of you guys can be like really obsessive in regards to work, or like can be very, very overwhelmed. Some of you might like totally avoid it. Some of you might distract yourself. Others are way overworking, because yeah, the sixth house is about perfectionism and also about burnout. So you're gonna have like a key revelation about your job, or about your coworker, or about some kind of daily system that you rely on. So something that was hidden from your sight, something that you forgot, something that you overlooked in regards to your daily routine or your work is going to become very clear. What do you tolerate in your day-to-day life? And do your habits support you, or are they actually sabotaging you because you cannot let go of control with the sign of Scorpio? Everything about your health, you need to be very realistic about right now. You can have like empowering energy to restore something important from the past in regards to your health. The new moon is definitely going to bring a lot of awareness so that you can fully address it before it grows and causes an issue. So really listen to the signs of your body. Also good to like remember that you can only like control your own habits and your own pace in your daily routine, and your own efficiency as well. Do not project that onto other people right now. You can control how your colleagues operate, and if other people are like not having the same productive qualities as you, maybe your workplace can be a little bit chaotic now with the Mercury retrograde. Do not try to micromanage your environment, because it will definitely intensify the frustration. Look at what you can influence. Your own organization, how you organize your work, how you organize your mindset, how you choose your health above like the daily drain of your workflow. So yeah, if you like adjust something within your operating systems, all the other things are going to be easier to cope with. But definitely, this is a reset of your physical and mental alignment. So release all the unhealthy habits, and there can be like a major purge of like decluttering your office, deadlines that you need to catch, and really purge all of the systems that are a bit disorganized. You might discover a mistake or something that you oversaw in your work or in your documents, and can also definitely give a shift in the dynamic with your co-workers and employees. So yeah, be wary about like fatigue. That is actually the root cause of a lot of fatigue is actually burnout and stress and some trauma triggers from the past. So really be mindful about that. Stay in your own lane. Do not try to fix or control other people's behavior. That is not going to be helpful for you. So good luck, my dear Gemini. We have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a new moon and Scorpio and a fellow water sign, and it's happening in your 5th house. So, my dear Cancers, you are the lucky ones for this new moon. Even though it's a bit intense, it's happening in a very positive house for you, my dear Cancer. So the 5th is about joy and passion and romance, children, your roots, your ancestors, people you live with together, your home, where it's located. If you feel at home. Oh my God, this Mercury retrograde is really proving to be a little bit of a pain in the ass for me, because I'm talking about Cancer and I'm immediately thinking about all the Cancer teams, but actually it's not wrong what I'm saying, and that is like the magic of this time, because the new moon in Scorpio in your 5th house of children is at the 28th Cancer degree. So it actually ties in very, very beautiful together for you, my dear Cancer. So the fifth is about your joy, your passion, your children, your romance. But the fact that it's at the 28 degrees, Cancer degrees, also ties together all of the Cancerian themes within that. So yeah, my subconscious was like just like speaking without thinking, and I thought I was mistaken, but it's actually correct. So okay. Scorpio here, it really asks you to release all of the like old inhibitions about self-expression. The fifth is like an apologetic self-expression, and look at where you've held yourself back out of fear of judgment. Maybe rejection is a big part, or maybe you're afraid that you're not being taken seriously in your creative endeavors that also fall within the fifth house. But yeah, can also be about a hobby from the past that comes up again. Have you like been ignoring a lot of your creative abilities? You can like pick them up again with the Mercury retrograde. Can also be about like some kind of social dynamic within your friend group that no longer feels joyful, and you're gonna like purge that. And also just know that something is ready to be released and reworked and also reborn. And some of you might be stepping a little bit back from some kind of friend or group or an activity that doesn't like suit you anymore. But yeah, at the same time, you're making more space and time for planting new seeds in regards of like a whole new creative cycle. Maybe a new romance that is gonna pop in, can definitely be an ex or some kind of fling from the past that returns, or simply a new connection where you can show up as your most authentic self. That is going to be quite beautiful. The new moon, of course, opposes Uranus in your 11th. That is going to shake up your social world a little bit, but it's also going to help you to break free from people and groups that actually no longer support your true authentic joy. So yeah, there could definitely be a breakthrough in involving your children, because the new moon is in the fifth. A child can have like a revelation, or sharing some kind of secret with you for sure. Definitely about messages that are revealing something about important about their own emotional inner landscape. But overall, it's about like dropping the fear of what will other people think about me. Step fully into who you are. Your inner child wants a lot of expression, and it doesn't need permission. So yeah, really allow yourself to want what you want. And in regards to joy, romance, pleasure, and creativity and freedom and fun, without like feeling guilty about that. I know you cancers want to care a lot for other people. You want to like comfort them and soothe them, but maybe it's time to look a little bit deeper in how you soothe yourself, and how much time you make for like diving into more heartfelt and joyful happenings in your life. So yeah, it's also yeah, encouraging you to show up with like vulnerability, but in like a more of a courageous way, not out of victimhood, but yeah, just like really showing your heart, because the fifth house is the house of the heart. Also know that you cannot control other people's reactions towards that, or other people's affections as well. There can also be some control issues in situationships coming up. If you are dealing with that right now, might be important to look at if you still want to keep that going. So yeah, insights involving children, romantic interests, a new passion project, or a passion project from the past turning back up again. You might release some kind of friendship or a dynamic within a group that leaves you feeling a little bit unsettled. You're going to be drawn towards new friends, and that might come up very, very unexpectedly. And then really dive into things that are purely for the sake of pleasure. It's going to feel you leaving very, very fulfilled. So good luck, my dear Cancer. We have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio that is going to land into your fourth house of home, family, emotional foundations, ancestral lineage, your home, your roommates, your emotional patterns, your generational patterns, and definitely some emotional dealings. These are all found in the eighth and the fourth. So all of these have actually shaped you more than you realized, because it's in the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is connected traditionally to the eighth. That's why I was saying that. But there's actually a beautiful grand water trine that is like going towards the 8th and the 12th house, which are very, very mystical and psychic houses. So whenever we have new moon in 4th house, that is like that has this beautiful flowing energy from the mystical, psychic, occult houses. Oh my god, like you can feel a lot of emotions, but very blissful and very positive, and like you can really tune into your emotions and really tap into the unseen realms. And when you sleep at home with Jupiter in the 12th and the trine to Saturn in the 8th, you can have so many beautiful positive messages from the deceased people coming through from your ancestral lineage. Like you, my dear Leo, are the sign that is gonna, of course, together with Scorpio, pick up on like the most psychic and beautiful, divine, synchronistic messages that are about to come through for you, my dear Leos. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. But also on the other side, all these patterns that have shaped you, something about your past or your living situation or a story within the family is really asking to be transmutated, to be purified. And this is like the fundamental range of your chart. The EC is at the bottom, and something needs to be transformed very fundamentally. So maybe you're gonna finally be able to see at some kind of family role you were like expected to play or to have. Maybe you're the strong one, the reliable one. Maybe you're like the rock in your family, and maybe now with this lunation you might feel like you want to step outside of the box. Maybe you feel a little bit too emotionally overwhelmed to be the rock in the family, and that is okay. Even the rock needs to have like support. Do not forget that, and it's okay to be vulnerable within your feelings and your emotions. This is actually your chance to let go of what no longer belongs in your inner world. Mercury retrograde is here as well, so definitely can bring up a lot of old memories. You can really be like very nostalgic during this new moon. You can really ponder upon all of these unresolved conversations from old conversations in regards to family or people who feel like family. Can also be a big spotlight on these long avoided emotional truths within your family line that you need to like confront during this time. So something that has been swept up under the rug is going to resurface, to be acknowledged, and do not spiral into like overwhelm. The purpose here is actually clarity. You're gonna suddenly have insights in family dynamics that you couldn't see before, and maybe you're gonna recognize how someone's behavior really shaped your emotional patterns. It's definitely connected to the mother. Insights can be a little bit uncomfortable, but in the end it's here to liberate you, and you need to be like breaking these ancestral chains. You need to stop repeating that. So look at your role and taking maybe a more detached or objective perspective instead of like really taking it on very personal, and feeling lost in the emotional ripples. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, not just to be the strong one. You cannot control your family's healing, but you can control your own healing. Do not be mad at their choices or their reactions, or do not be hyper focused on the emotional maturity or which is lacking. Release your burdens. Really control the quality of your own inner landscape. Look at your home and the environment and the emotional boundaries within your home, Declutter your home, purge everything, clear the stagnant energy within your home. You're really like building a new emotional foundation that is going to belong more to you and not to your history. So yeah, release a generational pattern, a role, or expectation that has been placed upon you, and by that you can release a lot of emotional clutter. So yeah, this is like, you're gonna feel this, my dear Leo. Let me know how things are going. Just know that you are a rock, and it's okay to take some time to step back and to really dive into the more spiritual realm with this grand water trine in the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th house. This can be like a very big reward for work well done. If you've been working on your generational patterns, you can really see a very, very big breakthrough in that. So let me know what happens, my dear Leo. I wish you good luck. We have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Okay, Virgo, you're gonna have a new moon in Scorpio that's gonna happen November the 20th inside of your 3rd house. So the 3rd house is, of course, important for you, my dear Virgo, especially if you're a Virgo rising, because the 3rd is traditionally Gemini, but Mercury belongs to Gemini and Virgo. It's your chart ruler. And Mercury is now back into the 3rd house as of November the 18th. So yeah, definitely very, very big topic for you guys is past conversations that are gonna be brought up in order for you to have more clarity. The 3rd is the house of the mind. It's about communication, your daily interactions, it's your immediate environment. So yeah, very, very big mental purge. It brings a lot of deep psychological detoxing. So release fear-based thinking. Release the obsessive loops, release the overanalysis, also release the self-limiting beliefs, all of the things that have actually got swept up into your daily mindset. You're actually maybe also been absorbing negativity from especially siblings or neighbors, and maybe you need to draw some more boundaries in that. If you have not, if you do not feel that's in regards to your siblings or your neighbors, it can also simply be in regards to like the media and like the whole news cycle. Pull your energy a little bit back. You're gonna need it. Do not let other people drain you. Step away from like all the voices that are triggering your anxiety or your hyper vigilance as well. You can feel a little bit pessimistic under this influence. You need to protect your mental space during this time. Very, very important. I have been actually feeling that as a Virgo rising, that like old blockages inside of my conscious brain that I thought that I had like worked through, like came up again. It's like every time you think you will be making like this next evolutionary step forward, it feels like, oh, the next assignment is here, and oh wow, surprise, he's like way harder and more difficult than the one you've just like fully completed. So that is like the current energy that you can have to deal with right now. Let me know if that resonates for you guys. But yeah, with Mercury retrograde here, really expect some kind of powerful message or conversation or realization to surface. And like the funny thing is, last year we had the Mercury retrograde as well in the sign of Sag. That happened during the fall for the Northern Hemisphere. And now some secrets that like happened during that misunderstanding like came up and got like fully highlighted. And now I feel like, oh my God, now I know what happened, and now I understand why certain things happened. And like it's so fully connected to the previous Mercury retrograde, and it was a whole lot to do about secrets and manipulation and like fears from myself and from other people. So yeah, this one is really, really striking a match in my brain, and I don't know if you guys feel the same, but definitely can be about like old texts or old emails or old conversations and revelations about someone in your environment. And then Scorpio, it doesn't sugarcoat. It's going to give you the truth, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, suddenly you might definitely understand why certain thought pattern formed, or why you've been a little bit guarded in your communication towards a specific person or your neighbors or your siblings. The new moon is really going to help you to see like the emotional root beneath all of the thoughts. So yeah, we cannot just like treat the symptoms. We need to go to the root and to the cause. Avoid drama, avoid gossip, avoid drawing in negativity from other people. Take a step back, just observe, let clarity emerge. You're not supposed to absorb like all the chaos in your local environment. Think critically and independently, like you're used to. But yeah, it's also going to really shine a big light on how your thoughts, how deeply they affect your emotional well-being. Detach from like constant overstimulation in order for you to like avoid reality. Do not become too talkative, do not overshare. I'm like very good at oversharing. There's like some of the things that I need to work on. Step away from like noisy environments. Do not go doom scrolling on social media with this. You cannot control how other people's emotions are, how they think, how they speak, how they interpret things, but however, you can control what you engage with and what you internalize from other people. So yeah, this is a reset in your communication style. You need to set clearer boundaries in that, be more conscious about how you speak, and yeah, have like a healthier relationship with how you're absorbing information. So you can like journal, that can help you to declutter your mental space, and it can also reclaim like your mental sovereignty. Build a mind that works for you and not against you, because I know Virgo rising, they sometimes in their head it is worse than the actual reality, because Virgos, they are so good in like having like these worst case scenarios inside of their head, and that's why they're very, very lovely to have around when there's some kind of crisis situation, because then they can like really keep their head cool and be bum and very structured in crisis situations. And here that can definitely come up and you might need to resort to that, but just be sure that you don't like let other people or other people's minds, thoughts, conversations drain your energy. That is going to be very important for you and your Virgo. So good luck. We have Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a new moon in Scorpio on the 20th of November, and that's going to activate your second house of money. It's about your income, your possessions, and also about your self-worth. So Scorpio really asks you here to release these fear-based attachments in regards to money. Material security is gonna be triggered. Also about like the approval that you receive through what you earn and own, and do not stress or like obsess over the numbers or over your budget or what you should be earning. The deeper question here is what is your why behind the money that you want to like create? What kind of life does this resources support? What do you truly value, but beyond like your material status? The lunation is really going to purify your relationship with money. Just know that it's gonna maybe hand you some kind of crisis that is gonna face your fears and realize that your worth isn't tied to your income. Worth isn't tied to your productivity, and also not worth is not tied to your external validation. It is rooted in your values and in your convictions, and also in the quality of your own inner life. Mercury is joining this party, and this new moon and black moon Lilith as well. So there are going to be important insights around your finances. Maybe you pick up past in-stream income again. maybe some assets from the past are gonna be highlighted in some kind of way. You could also have news about a raise. You might be restructuring your income. You might shift and your financial outlook. There can be a reevaluation of your property that you own or all the possessions. And yeah, this is like, be aware. Do not like hesitate to get like a second opinion in regards to any financial decision that you make or any financial news that you make right in, or receive right now. Also know with the Mercury retrograde back into the second, it's not the best time to make a large purchase. It's let go of control about your resources. Be more about like alignment. Focus on the alignment with your true priorities in regards to finances. Be careful about big investments. Ask help from a financial advisor during this time. And also know that like you're actually emotionally processing in regards to your sense of security and inner worth. And notice where you've like been dependent on all these external structures, maybe your partner or your employer, or maybe some institutions, maybe it's your family. Maybe you've been like a little bit dependent to feel stable or feel validated, but Scorpio is like gonna strip that away so that you can like rebuild from your own strength. And of course, we cannot control the markets. We cannot control other people's financial decisions, and also not how other people are going to perceive your value. But you can control how you use your own resources and where you invest your time and how you honor your skills. So yeah, definitely time to define your worth from the inside out, and ground yourself in what is genuinely valuable, and really move forward with a financial mindset that is rooted in self-respect and something that is sustainable. And then you're going to receive more clarity with the Mercury retrograde. So definitely you're going to have big financial insight that can come through a message or some kind of new opportunity that is going to stimulate your finances as well. Reevaluate what you value. Reevaluate what you value. That's funny. Okay. And also like let go of like fear-based mindset and scarcity mindset. Purge that. Your relationship with money will become healthier. And also realize where your like self-worth has been tied to your productivity and your income. So yeah, good luck, my dear Libra. We have Scorpios, the star of today's show. So, how are you feeling, my dear Scorpios, with the Mercury retrograde back into your sign right now? And of course, we're having a new moon in Scorpio on November the 20th. And that, of course, happens in your first house if you're Scorpio rising. So, the spotlight is like fully on you, on your identity, on your image, on your approach to life, on your health, on how you're being perceived by other people. So, a very, very deep personal rebirth. You're shedding old layers of identity, all these ways of how you look and perceive yourself, or like types of personas that you've like outgrown. So it's time to shed that right now. The new moon is, of course, conjunct Mercury retrograde in your sign, so you're going very, very deep inwards. It's like a re-meeting of yourself at like a core level. It's about your needs, what's driving you, your motivations, your desires, your pleasures, and also your like life direction in general. So, who are you now, and who are you becoming? Allow yourself to reset all the perceptions of yourself. Rewrite your inner narrative and show up as like a new version that feels more authentic and definitely more empowered and aligned. You're gonna have major insights about your body, your health, your confidence, and also your personal goals, and how that's been growing since the full moon in Scorpio 6 months ago. You might suddenly see yourself differently. And after the Mercury retrograde is going to be over way more clearly. It's about more honesty and also about like, yeah, becoming more vulnerable. And I know that's like more difficult for you. You guys are never gonna show your full vulnerability unless you're very, very deeply attached to someone. So, yeah, release all of these old labels, the feelings of being too weird or too witchy or too intense or maybe too private, too different. I know you're somehow a little bit outside of the norm, and that is okay. We need your intuitive insight. We need your psychic abilities here on Earth. So you're not too much. You are perfect the way you are. Definitely just know that like all the feelings of being too intense, that these are not truths. They're actually old conditioning, and they're actually very ready to be purged. So let all of these stories about yourselves, let them dissolve, let them create more space for a whole new self-image that is going to reflect your true power. Also reflect a little bit on where you've abused your power. I know Scorpios are very, very good at manipulating the truth, at like only sharing half truths, because you're a little bit afraid sometimes. It would be good to like fully like invest yourself. Where is that is like where the real growth lies. So do not be afraid to confront yourselves. The emotional processing here is very, very profound. It is actually centered around your self-worth, and I know a lot of Scorpios grew up with a lot of ancestral trauma. Sometimes you're like the black sheep in a family because you have like this X-ray kind of vision that really like pierces through the bullshit and through the lies and through the secrets. So I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's really, really necessary. So everything that you're processing here, it is around your self perception and also the way how you show up in your relationships, especially with Uranus now back into Taurus in the seventh house. So the personal rebirth here is really going to trigger a shift in how you relate to other people. So you're breaking free from all these old patterns of over compromising and like having too much expectations, or maybe partners have too much expectations being put on your shoulders, and maybe you're also like carrying other people's projections. Some people are definitely going to fully support your transformations, but others can definitely struggle a bit with it, and they can behave a little bit eccentric and a little bit out of the normal. Just remember that their reaction is not your responsibility, and encourage yourself to like redefine your identity in a way that is going to free you from all these outdated relationship patterns. Turn inward, focus on realigning with your authenticity and with your intentions, and look if they are pure, and if they're coming from a place of unconditional love, or if they're coming from a place of fear and wanting to control other people. This is really going to be a personal evolution that comes forth from this. So the more that you commit to who you're becoming, the more that your world is going to reorganize around that truth. So yeah, my Scorpios, a very big rebirth around identity and your personal power and how you're using that, if that's in the right way. A very big new beginning around your own body image and your personal goals. And there can definitely be clarity with Mercury retrograde about what you want and why you want it, and what no longer fits in the relationship zone of your chart. So yeah, very big emotional release around childhood conditioning and also these old patterns of self-judgment. So really let that go. Reorient your life direction around self-trust, and that is going to be a major, beautiful new seed that is getting planted in your sign. You also have Venus in your sign. Your personal charm is getting magnetized. You feel more attractive. You can feel more beautiful. You can attract more opportunities and the right people into your life. There's also a very beautiful grand water trine happening between your sign, the 5th house, and Pisces, and also the 9th house and in Cancer. So the new moon is beautifully trining Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter. So with like rebranding yourself and infusing more stable joy. And by that, you're going to transform your whole belief system as well. And that can be the source of great luck and great abundance coming towards you. So good luck, my dear Scorpio. We have Sagittarius and Moon arising. You're going to have a new moon in Scorpio that's going to fall into your 12th house, which is a very private house. The work that is happening is very deep below the surface, behind the scenes. It's happening within your subconscious, your inner world. It's about your past patterns, maybe past patterns of self-sabotage as well. And also like all the parts of you that usually stay hidden. So big purge and powerful time for subconscious release. Karmic themes, old fears, old conditioning, suppressed emotions, they're all going to rise up. So you can like finally acknowledge them and purge them. The 12th house is final ending. So all of the things that you've like been sweeping under the rug can be like hidden anxieties, patterns and avoidance, some emotional, deep traumatic memories. They're all going to become very impossible to ignore. So the new moon is of course also conjunct Mercury retrograde. So you're going to gain like this rare spot of access to like the root causes of all these patterns that are keeping you stuck in the past. So cleanse, dissolve, empty out like your psychic container or like your residue that's been quietly shaping your energy and also your outlook on life and your outlook on the past as well. So you are the sign that's going to receive major insights through your dreams, through meditation, through synchronicities, through like time spent alone. So the 12th house, it also speaks and like in an instinct from the subconscious and in symbols and in deja vu kind of moments and whispers from like beyond the unseen realm. So it does not come through logic, it comes through intuition. So be receptive to that. You can have like razor sharp, unusually heightened intuition. Your subconscious is like revealing all of your fears and your self-sabotaging tendencies and all the emotional habits that you didn't realize that you were carrying. These can even be from past lives that are now ready to be shed. So if you hold on to like a quiet fear of success, or maybe you have a little bit of fear of visibility, or maybe a tendency to pull back right when the things are like expanding for you. So something needs to be reassessed in that with Mercury retrograde as well. So allow all the guidance from like the spirit realms to come in into all the ways that you want to. All of the ways that they want to come in, like that can be through silence, through rest, through engaging in your spiritual connection, through meditation, and then you can do that by praying, and also like pay attention to all of the strange sensations of all the inner shifts that you're feeling. Like this can be really, really quiet things that happen in the 12, but they can have very big, potent, positive consequences when you dive into that. So don't run from it. Really lean into it. And yeah, the emotional processing here is very, very soul deep. It's not to overwhelm you. The old wounds are going to resurface so that they can be healed. Do not escape into distractions. Do not go overworking right now. Do not go helping others to distract yourself. Do not zone out, but maybe zone out, like you can zone out when it's like being focused on the positive side of life. Zone out in meditation, but do not zone out to avoid right now. The real growth really comes when we stay present with all the emotions and the deep things that are going to be surfacing. And also, you can't control what you do not have a grip on. all the outcomes, how your story is gonna unfold, how others are gonna handle their own subconscious healing. Yeah, just take some time to rest and reflect in solitude, and clean up your spiritual hygiene. The 12th is like your emotional closet. It's like the attic and the basement of your soul, and that needs to be cleaned out. It's your psyche, it's your past. Journal, meditate, make a dream analysis, and yeah, gently release anything. All the things that you've been like carrying out of guilt, or like an unspoken obligation. Just know that you're not meant to fix everyone's trauma triggers. With the opposition to Uranus, you actually are meant to free yourself from like the unseen baggage that still holds a grip onto you. So yeah, deep subconscious clearing, breakthroughs through dreams, symbols. You can have these intuitive nudges and hits that are gonna make you do a course correct with Mercury in the 12th as well. Definitely, there's gonna be a temporary need for solitude and rest and retreat. If you're gonna ignore that with Uranus back into the 6th, there can definitely be some like overstimulation of the your oh my god, Mercury retrograde, your nervous system. Oh my god, definitely an overstimulation of the nervous system, and if that happens, you might need to be forced to retreat. The 12th house is also the house of sickness. If you are within the first degrees of Sag rising or Sun or Moon, you're definitely going to feel this very, very strongly, because it's happening at the end of Scorpio, so very closely towards Sagittarius season. Just know that it's almost your season, and then we can infuse our life with way more optimism and hope. So hang on, my dear Sagittarius. Things are going to be okay, because you have like a very beautiful grand water trine between house 4, 8, and 12th, and these are the mystical houses. So yeah, take some time to connect with your ancestors and listen to their guidance. Good luck. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have a new moon that is gonna happen in the 11th house. It's in the sign of Scorpio, and it's happening on November the 20th. So focus is on friendships, your social sphere, the groups that you work together with, your dynamics within your community, but also about your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and your long-term goals. So maybe you're being asked here to release an old social role. Maybe there's a group dynamic that's a little bit outdated. Maybe there's a friendship pattern that's been draining your energy a little bit. Maybe you're going to realize that you've been carrying too much responsibility. Maybe you're the one that tries to hold the group together. Maybe you're like the emotional anchor within your social sphere. When it no longer aligns, you need to like shed that energy. So also insights about how you manage your image, how you portray yourself in group dynamics. You're going to be confronted by how other groups are perceiving you, and maybe where you've been like over controlling or over giving, or maybe friendship has been controlling you, and that might become very, very obvious. So do not cut everyone off. Just reset your boundaries and recognize where your social energy is being a little bit misdirected. Excuse me, you can like really plant some new seeds in that. So it's also going to activate questions and reflection around your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations. With Mercury retrograde, you're already rethinking your goals, and with the opposition to Uranus in the 5th, it's really like pushing you back towards your authentic joy and pleasure and creativity and fun. So yeah, you might be shifting your friend groups. Maybe you're changing your networks, or maybe you are reconsidering a collaborative project that once you thought was really important, and now you're seeing more truth in that. Really, a lot of insightful conversations are going to occur with a friend. Maybe a friend is going to spill some tea and tell you some secrets. It's going to reveal a lot of hidden motivations and power dynamics, and also your part in that and how that's been playing out in your life. So yeah, redefine what friendship means and what actually feeds you. If friendships are draining you, it might be time to let them go. Do not neglect your joy. rebalance the scales in that. The emotional processing here is really going to center around your feeling of belonging and your approval within your peer-to-peer conversations, and how that's actually shaping your future direction. Um, Are you staying in certain circles out of habit or loyalty, or maybe a fear of disappointing others? It might be good to look at why you're doing that. Sometimes you might also, feel resistance around like stepping back from like the need to shape your group outcomes. Let go of control. That is going to create a lot of clarity about who's truly aligned with you. Focus on your own goals and not what other people expect you to do, or not what society expects you to do. You cannot control how people or friendships evolve, or how they behave, or if people approve your next steps. Really release all the pressure, and that is going to help you to find and to see which bonds are real and which like-minded people are actually not so like-minded anymore. Just know that there's going to be a big, deep shift happening in your social circus, and that some group dynamic might be renegotiated or maybe emotionally purged. Just stay on top of your own goals and do not let friendships throw you off balance. And with this new seed being planted over the next 6 months, a very deep soul bond, new kind of friendship can really enter your life, Capricorn, and that is going to really, really help you move forward. So good luck, my dear Capricorn. We have Aquarius and Moon or Rising. All right, you're going to have a new moon that is going to land in your 10th house. It's happening in the sign of Scorpio. So the 10th is a part of the chart that is about your career, your legacy, your reputation, and also the public version of like the world who sees you. And it's very, very publicly known. Whatever happens in the 10th, it's like putting a very big spotlight, and then you're being very, very visible and seen. So really take that in mind. So major moment of release and redirection in regards to your professional path and also your public identity. So maybe you're gonna shed some kind of outdated ambition. Maybe you're gonna release a title that no longer fits you in your career. Maybe your career path has become a little bit too heavy. Maybe the image that you're trying to obtain, you're outgrowing that a little bit right now, and it's okay to purge and to plant new seeds in that. Step away from like the version of success that was like built on old motivations, or like the expectations on others, or like the feeling of being like be able to control others whenever you reach that point of leadership. Now it's time to like pivot towards something that is more meaningful and more emotionally fulfilling as well. So if a certain role in your career feels like it has too many strings attached, or maybe some bosses or people in an authority figure hold some kind of control over you and try to keep you small, maybe you're gonna need to let that go. So this is a very big shift in your career area. And definitely if it's like someone, a mentor or a parent or a boss or someone from the past, there can be a significant conversation, and they can really reveal some kind of secret or some kind of revelation. But it's definitely going to be someone who once really like influenced your personal direction. And then especially your professional direction. Mercury is retrograde, so yeah, the past in regards of career is like returning back to the present. Can be about a long forgotten passion that you wanted to chase. And now it's not about chasing, now it's about attracting, and about like letting the right people bump onto your path and then guide you on the next leap in your journey. Can be about an old project in regards to your career, or even like a past version that held like a lot of different aspirations that you once wanted to accomplish. Yeah, just like stay a little bit flexible with all the revelations and insights that are about to come. The new moon really wants you to reconsider not just like where you're going, but mostly why. Do not, comparing yourself to like people who follow like all the traditional ladders is only like gonna diminish the uniqueness of your own journey. As an Aquarius, that's very, very important. All the Aquarians are definitely in for a very big change whenever Uranus is going to shift into Gemini next year by April. So redefine also your success on your own terms and let it be guided by emotional truth and not by like rigid external expectations from people who have something or somewhat things to say over you. That is not that doesn't matter right now. So yeah, some of you are definitely going to feel some mix of frustration or maybe a little bit nostalgia or restlessness as you're like reassessing all these old ambitions. Maybe it's finally the time to plant a new seed in that. Others, with all of this Scorpio energy now reaching a big climax, others are really gonna like reach a very big milestone that you only like dreamed of. And some of you are going to be quite happy, but others are going to really like discover that it doesn't feel as satisfying as you were expecting. So there can definitely be tensions with authority figures or some kind of pressure to live up to a certain standard, but release the need to like control the public perception and the public like approval or how other people like interpret your choices in regards to your career. You cannot control your boss's reaction. These are like critics and people in authority, and yeah, just free yourself from like the weight that will really like allow your authentic ambition to re-emerge. It's not about ego, it's actually about totally detaching from it. Find your balance between like your own emotional truth and healthy detachment. It's about guidance, but like not clinging to like old identities in your career. Focus on your own skills and on your own contributions in regards to career. This is going to prepare you to ground for like a long-term career transition. So yeah, major redefining of success, ambition, and professional purpose. So good luck, my dear Aquarius. We have Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a new moon in Scorpio that is going to happen in your 9th house. And the 9th house is, of course, the realm of like our worldview, higher wisdom, our meaning, the bigger picture, educational pursuit, long distance travel, spirituality and philosophy, and like, yeah, the horizon of your future. So yeah, deep release around like limiting beliefs and fears about growth and like old frameworks that kept your world a little bit too small. The positive side here is that it's in a fellow water sign, so it's actually beautiful flowing energy that is happening towards you. So yeah, anything that has acted like some kind of ceiling, like maybe it's a belief that you inherited, maybe a cultural or political pressure, maybe some fear of the future, and even the sense that the world is a little bit too chaotic to dream big. It is all now ready to be purged. So realign with what genuinely inspires you and what expands you and also what reconnects you to your sense of purpose. Do not force yourself into someone else's worldview. Do not shrink yourself to fit into a system that never truly fit you, and return to your own truth. Return to your own curiosity and your own higher self. It's very, very wise to really dive into occult studies. That is very, very helpful for you guys. Powerful insights about like past experience that are connected to education, to travel, and even moments where like fear held you back from the things that you should have been doing or should have been pursuing, or that should have been like purposeful or like joyful. Mercury retrograde is here. It's like about old memories and old paths that might resurface. Maybe you've like toned yourself down a little bit. Maybe you've toned down your optimism a little bit to stay more realistic, especially with Saturn in your sign for the past 3 years. That could have been like really, really hard to really believe or like look and zoom out and look at the bigger picture. So now this is like an energy with the new moon that is going to help you to see these moments more clearly, without shame, without rejection, without fear of rejection, so that you can actually reclaim the parts of yourself that you have been repressing with Black Bone Lilith. So yeah, think about the old educational plans. Look at your spiritual path and how far you've come. If you want to go travel, that is okay, but revisit the place that you've traveled before with the Mercury retrograde here. And also, yeah, while you're doing that, and if you're on a journey or if you're at home, you can journey inside of your head as well with the ninth house energy. Really evaluate a philosophical framework, and expand your mind, question your old stories, and also admit that some of your previous limitations were never about your own abilities. They were actually about how you looked at the world. So believe in yourself again. Let hope and optimism infuse your worldview and your future again. Yeah, a lot of emotional processing around faith and optimism and your meaning in life, and also all the belief systems that you've created or inherited from your ancestral line. So maybe you've absorbed some fears about worldviews, or like even worldviews in itself that like never truly belong to you. So yeah, you're now gonna feel the need to detach from that and purge all the doom convictions in your world. There can be some ideological battles, and maybe you're feeling a little bit tired of them, and you're gonna like push and clear them and then like cancel them out of your life. Just know that you cannot control what others believe and how the world behaves. So stop carrying the weight on your shoulders. The weight of the world on your shoulders. What you do, however, can control is how you engage with your own spirit and your own hope and optimism and curiosity, and free yourself from the burden of like carrying other people's expectations and fears. And it's time to fully step into your own belief set and belief system. So yeah, travel, study, spiritual explorations, the writing, teaching is all going to help you expand your worldview. So follow what opens you up and not what drains you, and realign with what excites you and infuses hope into your life, what inspires you and what reconnects you to like the new possibilities in life that could infuse a lot of abundance in your future. So very, very big philosophical and spiritual rebirth. You can feel like you're on a new quest in life, and then you're like over a very big hill, especially with Saturn and Neptune that are about to leave your sign within the next couple of months. You can feel like you've been climbing a mountain for so long, and now you're like reaching the top of the mountain, and you can have like a whole new horizon being displayed in front of you, one that looks way more promising and way more hopeful. We have a very beautiful grand water trine flowing beautifully towards you, towards your fifth house, towards the ninth and your MC, and like this is like you're on the verge of a new future and a new outlook on life. And Jupiter in the fifth is about infusing way more joy and hope and optimism in your self-expression as well. So don't be afraid to use your voice. With Uranus in the third, what you say can actually cause major breakthroughs. So don't be afraid to hold back. It's making a beautiful sextile to Neptune in your sign. So whatever comes from the unseen realms through you, just like openly speak it and share your belief system that you are working on, and like that can be a very, very beautiful outcome for next year. So definitely with Venus also trining your sign and trining the North Node, very beautiful new things can really come onto your path. So take these new opportunities with both hands, and just step into the beautiful grand water trine energy. Your intuition is going to be so heightened, and let go of like the pressure to adopt other people's beliefs, and do not worry about all the world events that you cannot control. You're not here to be Mother Teresa, to carry all the weight of the world on your shoulders. Really take this time to make a shift towards more optimism and like a renewed faith in your future. So yeah, strong intuitive hits. Your psychic insight can really be increased. You can have clear visions through dreams, through like making time for meditation and your spiritual practices. This is actually a very powerful redirection towards like a life path that feels more meaningful and expansive, and it's going to be truly aligned with your soul. So good luck, my dear Pisces. All right, that was it for today. So let whatever that is going to surface really settle into your body. Really tap into the beautiful grand water trine. So all the planets in the sky are having an agreement in the water signs, and it's like they're having an agreement on sending you a flood of emotions, and that can be very positive emotions if you're willing to reflect and to look at how you've handled your power with the new moon in the sign of Scorpio, and definitely be ready for some secrets in the sign of Scorpio that are going to be illuminated for you, and people from the past who are actually going to help you on the next leg of your journey. So honor what you need to release, and also honor what you've actually are going to reclaim with the Mercury retrograde, and also honor the version of you that is actually rising from the deep. This new moon is going to all make us wiser, clearer, and braver, and it's actually about carrying a truth that no one can unearth, because it's the absolute truth. Everyone can have a vision and everyone can have their own truth, but remember, there is only one real truth, and that is going to become very, very obvious. So Scorpio's gift is, of course, rebirth through honesty, through vulnerability, tapping into your power through vulnerability, and with the opposition to Uranus, there's a lot of freedom that can be found through integrating the shadow. So move forward with a lot of intention, and also move forward with a lot of bravery. The sign of Scorpio asks us to be brave and face our uncomfortable fears, and above all, really move forward as the real authentic you. And then Scorpio is gonna reward you and hand you your true power. So thank you all so much for being with me here today, and I all wish you a lot of luck and love. Bye bye.